Hi, everybody, and welcome to a very special episode of Secrets Beyond the Suns. This is an after game development scene with our lovely, lovely player Abby and her character Farideh. If you were around for the Invisible Sun game Secrets Beyond the Suns, you'll know a lot of stuff happened and there were a lot of questions unanswered, especially in regard to Faraday's arc. I am Mare. I was the game master for the game, and I will be the game master for this very special session. Abby.
And I'm Abby. I have loved being able to play Faraday. As she is an eremitic, ardent apostate who breathes runes and is going to try to talk to a deity again.
At the very end of the finale, we ended with Quiss, the Warden of the Indigo Sun, who has been missing since the end of the war, being released from chains, holding him to the Grey Sun and being unable to do his duties as Warden. There were a lot of questions unanswered. Why Farideh was reached out to by the troubadours of the Ancient Path, a set of wandering entertainers, and what their connection was to Quiss. So we start with Farideh today, ready to make contact to finally have that conversation.
Yeah, so it's been a few months probably and since our big confrontation um, in front of Quiss and being able to free them. And Faraday has been kind of traveling. She sold her house that she had been feeling kind of stuck in. She quit her job, made a couple new friends, and was kind of just traveling around Indigo, seeing new places, performing in new bars, checking things out with her faithful sidekick Samuel, of course. And yeah, so after a few months of kind of being able to feel freer than she has before, she's come back to um, kind of her old neighborhood, where she first reached out to Quiss and um, is going to use the beseech spell again, um, with her uh, bolo tie made by Carousel that she always wears, with a coin of the troubadours. She can pretty easily reach out and ask Quiss to um, take her to wherever they are.
And with that, we will have a single card pull for the session. I pulled this card earlier, and I pulled Messiah. Value of 7, Visions, Swans, Blades, and Water. Meanings: change, salvation, familial love. Many fear change. Others embrace it eagerly. Often, not always, but often, the former live happy and satisfying situations, while the latter do not. In other words, change is a salvation that not everyone needs. The Messiah is the defender of the Visions family. She defends by changing the things that threaten or menace. As a defender, the Messiah is particularly concerned with families and the bonds of love that exist there. You are not an empath, so you will not be affected by this card.
Cool.
When you reach out to Quiss through your bolo tie, Samuel with you on your shoulder, just clutching his little rat feet into your shirt to make sure that he does not fall off. You find yourself surrounded by an indigo mist. Slowly and quickly, all at once, being whisked away, where you find yourself near a tree you have not seen before. It is tall like a willow, and among its trunks there are TV screens showing off Shadow Lives. Yours, you see glimpses of Avery doing tricks in the street and hustling observers. There is a quick glance of Paul breaking into a jewelry store before alarms sound, and Alondra doing some kind of negotiations in a very well-pressed suit. And you just mixing drinks in a bar as Nina. There is a presence behind you, and you hear Farideh.
Oh, hey! How's it going?
When you turn around, you see the mutable form of Quiss, a being who is gender fluid and is always changing to match their current mood. There is no way to describe what they are in every single moment. One moment they are a tall, masculine figure, and another, just short, androgynous. But unlike the last times you've seen them, instead of this giant, hulking, fierce-feeling deity, they are your height, roughly, no longer towering over you, as an equal. I'm glad you can make it. I was wondering when you were going to reach out. I was, frankly, a little concerned that you might have considered just living a normal life.
Who has a normal life? I mean...
No, you're right. I'd like to use this time to answer questions you have, and I know I haven't been able to give you the chance to really know what the troubadours are about. He also gives a small nod at Samuel, who does eventually make himself at home in a pocket, peeking his little nose out.
Nice. Well, I've met, a couple other troubadours. They're starting to introduce me to each other, which is great. Definitely not part of the family yet, but I feel like they trust me a bit, which is probably partly your doing. You might be whispering in some ears.
A little bit. But troubadours have a way of being able to see the truth within people. And if they're trusting you, that's of their own accord.
Mm-hmm.
Though I might have given them all a heads up that I am back at the help of a group and a Vizsla with a rat friend.
Nice. See, Samuel, you're in the club too.
I'm so excited. Honestly, if I wasn't in the club, I would be very upset. I did good work. If I didn't bite you, you wouldn't have woken up, and then I would be very sad.
Yeah, none of this would have worked without Samuel. So, thanks for including him. It's good. So my biggest question is, did you create the troubadours, or did they come to you?
The troubadours were a faction before the war. My influence did not reach out to them until I was trapped. Before, they were just traveling entertainers, spreading happiness and fun and entertainment. But then the war happened. I found myself where you found me. And I knew if I wanted to get out and get back to my domain under the Indigo sun, I was going to need help. And travelers know and see things and hear things. I thought it was a good place to start.
So when you managed to reach out, you really couldn't explain anything that was going on.
Not at first. In order to do so, to give them a little bit my power to really understand what was going on, we had to make a pact, a deal, like you and I did.
Mm.
So, but the longer I worked with them, some of the more powerful ones, the more their influence was able to spread, and continuing to find those that would be able to help, like yourself.
Well, they've done a good job hiding that part of them. Even the people in Saturnine who have heard of the troubadours, I don't think have any idea of this connection.
The connection and reasoning itself is linked to a spell that makes you forget the most important things that you cannot talk about and you have forgotten.
Sounds like a shadow spell.
Yes. It very much is. They are quiet for a second, just trying to gather their thoughts. The troubadours were originally to help me get out so I could help reclaim the Indigo Sun and Saturnine. What do you remember about the war?
Not much. You know, we all fled, so it must have been bad enough to think we couldn't win, and just hope that something would be standing when we came back.
A lot was standing, but also a lot was destroyed. The sounds and stories I hear, and I'm sure that you heard, is people don't talk about the war. The only thing you need to know is that you won. But that spell that keeps you from talking about the war is to keep you from the truth of it, that we lost.
But we're still here.
If you have a bird who has been caged its entire life, or that it remembers that it has been caged its entire life, does it know that it's in a cage?
Whoa.
Yeah. Part of what, besides helping me out, which is it's only the first stage. The truth of the matter is that Saturnine lost to a creature that took it over. There have always been rumors, at least in the history books, of a creature called the Angular Serpentine, which used to rule the city in the past, before present day and Visley and other regular people moved in. It didn't like that. And there was a war. When we lost, we cast a spell so it couldn't talk about it. Well, you couldn't talk about it. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah. So we all knew this and just can't remember.
Can't remember, you can't talk about it. It's a spell that I still cannot touch at this point, even after several months of recovery.
But you can talk about it. Or only here?
Enough. I can talk about it. But if I told your friend Zephyr, or Alondra, or Carousel, or even, what is the word that people use? Frenemy? Laurel?
Yeah.
I can tell them. But as soon as they're away from my vicinity, it is gone. It is a work in progress, and that is why I hope the troubadours will continue to stay.
Those that currently rule Saturnine, do they know?
The Deathless Triumvirate.
Mm-hmm.
They are a set of 3. They are puppet heads. When you were in the gray with all the other Vizsla, and I was still chained, you were attacked by the Thaw. The Thaw work for the Deathless Triumvirate to keep peace. But it's more so to keep rebellion from starting. They are not actual rulers. They are puppets by the Angular Serpentine.
So that's why they're all super scary and mysterious.
And dangerous.
Mm.
Very dangerous. The Serpentine holds many faces, from what I have seen and understood.
Yeah, but so do you. That's not always bad.
Mine is a state of being and personal preference, while the Serpentine is for nefarious means. You're familiar with the Wardens.
Mm-hmm.
There's me, there's many others. The Shadow doesn't have a Warden. But there's always been a rumor that there is a creature called the Demiurge, just within and infusing into the lie, that does not want Vizsla to leave. Through my own eyes, the Demiurge and the Angular Serpentine are one and the same. It's all very tangled together.
Do you know why bother keeping us caged? I mean, if they can do what they like, why bother keeping us around at all?
Well, my first...
We're just going to cause trouble eventually.
During the war, Vizsla were the powerhouse, the main defenders of the city. You are able to pull upon the magic of the invisible sun and able to perform wondrous feats. You are a threat. But if you can keep them down and caged, it's one less thing to worry about to keep control over the rest of the city.
I wonder if there's like a dark troubadours. Like if they have a network.
Honestly, it would not surprise me, though. I might be the Warden of Truth, but unfortunately, not all truths have been revealed.
Hmm. So what's the next step for us? How can we help? You know, now that you're back in your normal place, back in your usual power, what's the next step for our little our network?
There is a slight smile. I know you've been traveling around as a troubadour, but this is the first true bit of information I've been able to give you. Do you want to stay and help with this? I want to give you the option to, I don't want to use the word back out, but stay safe, because this is going to be very dangerous.
If I chose to not help, it would be just like choosing to stay in shadow.
In that case, next steps are continuing to find allies, more troubadours, those who are capable of seeing through deception. And that's just going to be time. It's going to be a long game. I do not see this being resolved in your generation, to be quite honest. My first thoughts are to possibly try and take down the Deathless Triumvirate, reinstate the old order and rulership of Saturnine with a Council of Visley, but they're not going to take that kindly.
Mm.
They
And even if you do, it'll be a full-time job trying to make sure that they don't get infiltrated.
Correct.
Even if it seems to be ruled by Visley.
Correct. It's just a lot of factors, a lot of planning. This is only one part. It would essentially, if you don't do it through subterfuge, another war. And the city is destroyed enough as it is, with all of its ruined expanses and separate districts, that it's going to be hard.
Hmm.
But anything worth it is never easy. The troubadours are my eyes and ears. There is still a veil over the city. So, reach out to Mila, the woman in red.
Oh, she's still around.
Of course she is. She's wily.
Yeah, I've only seen her, that once.
I'll tell her to stop being a pain and let her catch you. Or let you catch her. Though she'll probably come catch you.
Karina's been the biggest help, even though she acts like she's not.
She's very humble. She's a level head. She's a very much needed level head compared to Mila. I'm sure if you reach out to her, she'll be able to reach out to them.
Great.
Build connections, find allies, trustworthy allies, and go from there. I'll be trying to do what I can on my end, because I don't think the demiurge, the serpentine, whatever it prefers to be called, will stop at Indigo. So I'm going to reach out to other wardens, at the minimum, to bolster their own defenses into their sons.
So you can talk to them?
I don't always like to.
Yeah. I didn't know if you had to stay here now.
I definitely try to stay on the sun if I feel like if I leave too long from my gate, something similar will happen to before.
Anything we can do to keep that from happening?
Keep doing what you've been doing. The reason I was captured in the first place was a mighty blow at the end of the war. It was a last final push on its end. Visley were fleeing. Troops were leaving. Most of the city was already destroyed. And I was just blindsided.
Well, I'm not a great choice for a bodyguard, but if you ever need company while you're watching your gate, I imagine you can find me anywhere.
You are easily reachable, and they tap in the area where your bolo tie is on their neck. You can reach out to me anytime with your troubadour coin. I just figured that this conversation would have been better in person.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot to take in.
Once you leave my presence, you'll not be able to speak of the war, the truth of the war, to other people. My guess it will be the same as earlier, where they will hear static, or you just won't be able to say it. There's reasons why veterans cannot and will not speak of it.
Will I at least be able to talk about you? Or should I not? I cannot, if that's...
You can. Though I think it would be better from a safety perspective for you not to. If my presence is broadcasted, it's going to be heard by the wrong people.
Mm.
I would prefer only those traveling through the gates know that I have returned.
Cool. Well, I'll pass Zephyr this way then. They can say hi.
Please tell Zephyr one other thing for me.
Mm.
She needs to watch out with the Hendasa. Not the Reapers, the Hendasa. I was talking to another troubadour recently where the reason why so many Vizsla were still trapped in shadow was because of some of the people in that organization. A mole. I don't know who, but I don't think it was the Grey Reaper agents.
Yeah, they were all the ones getting stuck.
Exactly, because they were the ones coming in and out who were at most at risk. And since the goal was to keep me down, the more agents that go in and don't come out, the more power is used to hold me. So there was a saboteur.
I feel like I shouldn't tell her that, because then she's gonna want to go find them.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Oh.
Because if you can find the saboteur, then less Vizsla are trapped. I think as long as it's done with tact and subtlety, it could work. But I think just leaving Vizsla in there, I don't want history to repeat itself. Especially since the Demiurge wants them there.
One other question about the war.
Yeah.
Since we cannot trust our own memories, did we truly choose to hide in shadow?
Yes. There was a turning point, and a lot of Vizsla who did exile themselves did so willingly. I'm sure there are exceptions. I cannot speak for your own memory, if you put yourself there or not, but many left of their own accord. It was safe. It was a way to forget the horrors and atrocities that were happening here. Is there anything else I can answer for you or clarify?
So what do you do every day? Do you just watch the gate? Do you just talk to people? When they come through, do they have to fight you?
I am not a fighting warden.
Yeah, okay.
I will leave that to the Warden of the Red. And all the demons that they guard. I watch, I listen, I learn. Those who enter the Indigo Sun that do not originally reside here, I normally ask for them to find information for me, or bring light a truth that should not be hidden. Sometimes, I will not lie, those who I'm on good terms with for the other wardens, we do have the equivalent of monthly dinner parties.
Ooh.
I don't know how they're going to take that once they realize I've been back, but watching the gate is a full-time job. Making sure that those who pass into the realm pay the toll.
Yeah, see, I just feel like you and Zephyr are just gonna just gonna get along. The whole, telling truths and free Invisley and stuff. I think maybe I'll see if she wants to join the troubadours.
From what I have seen, she would be a very strong ally. I respect that with her. Her convictions are in the right place. Samuel pokes his nose out of your pocket and looks up at you.
Where you want to go?
Where are we going next?
Oh, I was asking, do you want to? I feel like I'm always deciding where we go, but you can tell me where you want to go.
I'd like to get lunch.
Great, practical. That's why I like you.
Quiss speaks up again. I will be here for guidance. I will be here for favors. And you might hear from me every once in a while with a task, but I trust my agents I trust their judgment.
Great. Well, I'll probably have more questions later, after I've slept on it.
Of course. And Quiss holds out a hand to you for a handshake.
Oh yeah. I'll shake hands.
It is a very firm handshake. And you can tell that the grip is intentionally not heavily grasping. And when you let go of Quiss's hand, you find yourself back on the streets of Fartown. Everything is bustling and moving around. You see a shrimp fried rice running by, a Visley running after to catch it. They're failing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do, Farideh? How do we end?
We're gonna go see if Alondra has a lunch break.
And with that, we end Secrets Beyond the Suns, Farideh's conversation with Quiss. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this amazing adventure. I hope that answered and raised more questions for you.
Yes.
Abby, would you like to give a quick introduction of who you are and where we can find you and what you do?
Hello, I am Abby. I have had so much fun playing Farideh. Oh my gosh. It's been such a fun group, and Mara has been amazing, and everything down to the character art is just like, she's gonna live in my brain for a long time. I am not currently in any other games or anything. I am very busy at my job that I love, in a music club, so things are good. But you can find me on Twitter at Aragorn's Girl if you'd like to see occasional pictures of my cat.
And I am Mare. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice, as it says on the overlay for both of us, our Twitters. And I'm not, by the time this airs on YouTube, I'm not in any current updated games, but I will be running a second game of Invisible Sun, named To Be Determined, on Friends Who Roll Dice. That will be premiering in late October 2021, early November 2021.
More Invisible Sun.
It's so good. I just recently had my session 0 with the group. They're chaos, and it's most likely going to be a little darker than the Secrets Beyond the Sun's game. There will be pain and tears, and everyone's going to love it.
That's what we all sign up for.
It's all we sign up for, handing your character knives to your GM where they just throw them back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, and I hope to see you all again. Maybe for future one-shots with this group, because I miss them all. Bye.
Maybe beach episode.
Beach episode with those children. Goodbye, and have a lovely, lovely, lovely day.